Okay guys, welcome to my next V8 setup. This time it's Road America, taken from the VR Run race. I'm going to go through a quick little track guide in the V8 as we come into turn 1, and we're going to look out for the little bit of road on the left again, similar to the RUF. We're going to brake a little bit early, we're braking pretty much dead on it, and we're going down into third gear. You really want to stay on the inside as much as possible and get on the power nice and early. And then we're going to go down into the next corner. This was a really hard braking point. I used the shadow on the left, but that shadow was changing every time you race, so you just have to really work out a point. So you really want to stay nice and early again and on the apex on that corner. This car relies on staying close to the apexes and then getting on the power as early as possible. So we're going into the tight left hand up here now, and we're going to brake just before the 300, just on the 300, a little bit after. In the race you want to brake pretty much on it, but in qualifying you can actually brake a little bit later. Then we're coming into left where we're braking just before the bridge, going down into third gear, staying nice and tight and on the curb, then hard on the power, trying to avoid to run too wide on that curb as it can unsettle the car. Again, we're over the curb there and just ran in a little bit on the grass there, but we get away with it. Only the front left tyre actually got on the grass. Then we go down into third gear, staying nice and tight early on the power again, and then coming up to a really tricky corner in this car. It's not obviously the best car for this type of bend. It's really heavy, so you need to get on the power nice and early and get the back end to slide a bit, as you see there. We've got a little bit of a drift going through there, and then we're hard on the power coming into the next corner where we're going to chuck it in as much as possible. You can actually get on the curb in the V8 and just be careful on the curb on the exit there though. The first curb you're okay, but the exit curb you can be a bit risky. And we're coming into the braking zone where we're braking pretty much on the 400. We're going down into third gear. We actually missed the apex slightly, but we got on the power nice and early. And then we're going into fourth gear, and you're going to chuck the car in again and just be ready to feather the throttle through that corner if you feel like it's going to understeer. Then we're going back into third gear for the final corner, tight in on the apex, and then hard on the power on the exit to give us the maximum speed going down the start straight. And I think we go over the line for 2 minutes 4.8, I think it was. Let's just double check. Okay, so it was over the line on 204.850. So we're going to quickly go through the setup changes and alterations that we made. You'll find that a lot of these setups are very similar with this V8 that I found. Tyre pressures were pretty much the same as most tracks, slight differences you can see there, just very minor differences, but you need to do them differences. Brake pressures 87 to 88% for qualifying. You can actually go up to 90% for the race. Brake duct needs to be on 35% for the race, and you can go down to 15 for the actual qualifying. If you're going to do more than one run though in qualifying, you need to go a bit higher. The brake mapping as usual, 0, don't have that anything. Now the gearing there, that's the gearing I found to be the best for this track with the downforce that I had on. Radiator, you can rate 5% for qualifying. Again, you need to up it for the race. Bump stop, we went quite low again for this car on Road America. It's quite a smooth track, although you got curbs, it's quite a smooth race track, so you don't need a high bump stop there. And the rear slow bump was slightly lower again. I've gone for the softer setting on the rear to give us traction coming out the corners. As you'll see with most of the setups I'm going to do for this V8 are very similar, just slight alterations for track to track. Ride height again, we had it as low as we physically could all the way, and the springs were slightly softer on the back again. Like I say, it's the same for every track pretty much. And the camber angles were a bit lower than most tracks because obviously you got the long straights on Road America, so we don't want to be running free on the front and that, so we're going a lot lower for Road America. But again, downforce on 10, it's just the way I found best to run the car. Quickly run through the force feedback as usual. It's totally standard. I'll leave you with a little replay of the TV camera angles from the lap I did, and then we'll be uploading another video shortly of another track in the V8, and there'll be a lot more RUF setups coming soon because I'm racing the RUF in the Apex new season, so I look forward to bringing you them guys. Thanks for watching.